These are my mother plants of persimmons. I think they call it Princess Persimmons, in that they're very miniature. I've had the main problem I see is more visible from your side now. We got this line that starts, it's got a good root flare, comes up, and then it forks off. Well, this side goes straight up with no taper. This side goes up, has a better taper and movement. And what I was doing was I was saving all the wood to fatten it. But now if I go too much longer, it's going to run into a problem. So one of the first things I'm going to do is to cut it off. I also have these things that came out of the ground, and I'm not sure what they are, but when I take this out to repot, I got to deal with that. So what I'm going to do with these is cut these short for now, so they're out of the eye, and I'll show you this close-up. I think you could. So it starts out pretty nice, and then there is that fork, and if you go up, straight up, see how rather boring it could be? Just go straight up with no taper. Now, it did give me the growth that I wanted, but now I should back off. What the heck? And on this important cut, remember, rough cut and nibble to the. So if you don't have the tool that's big enough for one cut, you should nibble. You notice that I took half and now taking the other part. But now I'm still going to nibble to get the line that I want. The rest of it, and I think probably take this one off, this one off, and slow down the growth of these. Okay, now we're still not trying to finish anything. We're still in that growth cycle, so I'm just doing fairly rough cuts, but now we do have some movement. Maybe in the future it may come up this way, or that way, but I don't want to cut too much. So I'm going to, all that I cut off becomes cutting materials. We've talked about in other series about the cuttings, and so that's what I'm going to do. Is this is going to get thrown away anyway, so I might also go ahead and make cuttings out of it. And then in a few years, I'll let you know if that was correct or not. But this is how I've been learning. A lot of this is not written down. So hit and miss and looking at materials that you acquire from other places. And then it is quite possible that this was a cutting material. This is so I cleaned out this little piece, but mainly I took this one that was in here, and that cleaned it up quite a bit. I might take a few more off, but not knowing exactly how to prune to make this produce fruit, I'm a little bit cautious. When you have only one plant, this is the problem that you run into. You just don't know what you're supposed to be doing. And that's why if you're a student and you want to learn about something, you should do many of the same species, the same plant, then you won't run into this problem. Unfortunately, these plants were very difficult to find. I had one of my former students, he found it for me all the way in the Bay Area. So as I get more of my seedling to start growing, I think I would be much better at this styling process. So what I am going to do for now is to be very cautious and not over prune. So I think I'm going to stop about there. This one was okay. Okay, now that's done. 1/3, 2/3. And let me talk a little bit about what time of the year this is being done. We're in the middle of January. And why did I pick middle of January to do this? Well, locally we have a lot of, well, I won't say a lot, at least we have one big commercial grower of fruit trees. And I saw them do all the digging, and they're selling as bare roots. Now, they have this big machine that just goes under the roots and then digs it out, and they have the employees pull them out. Well, I figure if the machine goes and cuts, then they won't take all. And you know, in our bonsai rule, we have that 1/3 stimulates growth. More than that, and you got to be careful because sometimes you'll push it over the edge. And so I figured, okay, if they could bare root it, it should be a good time to rework on it. And if we have to disturb the roots, that's okay. If we have to change the soil over completely, that's okay. So that's one of the reasoning for doing this in the middle of January. Okay, now I'm checking to see if there's any coiling. And there is a little bit. Now, you could sit here and unravel, or other times you could use this knife and cut. But it doesn't seem like there's a major problem with this particular. It really is a messy job. If you happen to see me do the conclusion in different clothes, that means I really got dirty. But, oh, this is very healthy. Okay, done. I'm a mess. Table's a mess, but I have projects that may or may not work, but I'm feeling good about what I've done today. So basically, as a review, I cut off 1/3 of the bottom and put back in with fresh soil. With this one got heavy pruning, this got very light pruning. And then we'll see how this reacts, and then next go around when I prune again, I'll have more confidence in what I can and cannot do with a persimmon. And this is a good lesson in that most of you will